Okay, let's take a look at excretory system. So what is excretion? Excretion is the removal of toxic substances and waste material produced during metabolism of living organism. Okay, so that means excretion is the removal of something that your body doesn't want. Okay, that means it is some substances that produce from your cells that your cells do not want, and then to prevent it from accumulating inside your body, it is being removed. Okay, it is totally different from egestion. Okay, egestion is basically removal of substances through pooping, remove what we call feces. So feces is different from, removing feces is different from excretion because feces is a substance that your body cannot absorb. Like when you eat something, it enters your mouth, pass through your stomach, and then go through your small intestine, large intestine. Then it didn't manage to enter your blood. So when it cannot enter your blood, it cannot enter your body cells. So in that case, it never actually enter your cells and become the product that was produced by the cells. Okay, so it is not considered excretion. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so one good example, again, to compare this thingy is, say you have cell. The cell carry out respiration. So during respiration, oxygen is taken in. Carbon dioxide is given out. Carbon dioxide was part of the cell earlier. Okay, now it has been removed. It is produced by your cell. So it's considered an excretory product. But feces didn't actually enter the cell. It wasn't produced over here. It's actually the remnants of stuff that you put inside your mouth. Okay, things that you didn't manage to absorb or break down. So it just passed through your alimentary canal and come out and poop. So this is the difference between excretion and egestion. Need to take note, huh?
Okay.
Okay, so because we mentioned about metabolism earlier, so here we're just going to simply tell you that metabolism is actually made up of catabolism and anabolism. Catabolism is all the process that involve in breaking down substances. Anabolism is all the process that involve in building up. So our body is constantly breaking down stuff and then build up stuff and then break down again, build up, then break down. So all the stuff that is breaking down, building up is actually called metabolism. In other words, metabolism is the activity that happens inside your body, inside your cells. Okay, next. Let's take a look at 3 examples of excretory product. The first excretory product is what I mentioned just now, carbon dioxide. Bile pigment. Bile pigment is also an excretory product because it is produced when your body breaks down hemoglobin. Okay, it's not produced when your body breaks down red blood cell. Huh? Breaking down a red blood cell happens in the spleen. Okay, when red blood cell is being broken down, hemoglobin found inside the red blood cell is released. Then the hemoglobin is shipped to the liver. No longer in the spleen. It is shipped into the liver. Then the liver will break down the hemoglobin. In other words, I could draw the red blood cell that look like this. So the breaking down of red blood cell is different from breaking down of hemoglobin. So when you break down red blood cell, red blood cell, hemoglobin will be released. And this thingy here, the breakdown of red blood cell, happens in the spleen. Okay, then this Hemoglobin will then be sent to the liver. Then the liver will break down the hemoglobin and turn it into what we call bile pigments. It will break it down into bile pigments and other substances that was not highlighted. Okay, one of them is iron. This iron will be recycled to make more hemoglobin in future. Okay, so bile pigment, because it is produced when your body break down hemoglobin, so it is considered a excretory product. Urea is produced when the liver convert excess amino acid into urea. So excess amino acids is part of your body. So when it's converted into what we call urea is considered an excretory product. Okay, Ken?
Okay.
Wait,
John,
yes.
I got upload question in the Google Drive.
Yeah, after I finish teaching Lorraine,
Oh, okay, sure.
Then we have here, you can see the excretory substances. We have carbon dioxide. It is made in the body cells, excreted by the lung, removed by inhalation, removed by exhalation. It's a metabolic product of respiration. Bile pigment is made in the liver, excreted by the anus. Because bile pigment is secreted as bile into the small intestine. So in that case, when it enters the small intestine, it becomes part of the feces. So the anus is the one that removes the bile pigments. Okay, removal by excretion of feces is the metabolic product of hemolysis of red blood cell. Tau, wait, I'll address you later. I'm on a video. Urea is also made in the liver, excreted by the kidney. Okay, removed through urine. And then we also have another ways of removing urea instead of urination is through sweating. So the excretion is done by sweat glands instead of kidney. Okay, these two are almost the same, just that the removal method is different. Okay, here they already tell you removal of feces not considered, okay, because it is made up of things that mainly cannot be digested and absorbed. Okay, so next is a conversion of excess amino acid into urea. So this is an example of amino acid. Here you can see that this has the amine group and the carboxylic acid group. So we call it amino acid. Amino acid. The amine group, then acid. If you look closely here, this part is made up of CHO. When we break down excess amino acid, we break it down into part 1, which is made up of CHO, and part 2 that contain nitrogen. Those that contain CHO can be converted to carbohydrate and fats because they are made up of the same element. Those that are made up of nitrogen cannot be stored. Okay, nitrogen is basically unique in amino acid and protein, but it just happens that it cannot be stored unless you store it as the muscles in your body. But if you don't work out a lot, if you don't bear weights, if you don't do those strenuous exercise, you probably won't build that much muscles. So the excess amino acid will be sent out. How to send them out? So we can imagine this part here. You can imagine the amine group from here is NH2. Then there will be another amine group from another amino acid, NH2. It will combine with a molecule of carbon dioxide, CO2. Sorry, CO2. So when it combines, it will produce something that look like this. One carbon, one oxygen over here. It is bind to a NH2 like this. And then this part also bind to another NH2. This structure here is called the urea. Okay, urea.
Okay.
So urea is actually, you remove two amine group from two excess amino acids and combine it with carbon dioxide. Because carbon dioxide is a excretory product anyway, so you use it to make urea. Okay, so here you can see, here they're trying to tell you, this one portion here, this one is converted to carbohydrate or fats, and then this ammonia, two of them will combine with carbon dioxide to form urea. Okay, these are the list of function of liver. You would have learned this in nutrition in human topic 4. Okay, just a recap. And this is another here. They tell you why defecation, that is removal of feces, is not considered excretion. Okay. So this is the structure of the excretory system. Here you can see we have two kidneys. One is above the other, not sure why. And then if you look closely, the name for kidney in Latin is renal. So the artery that sends blood to the kidney is called renal artery. The artery that takes blood away from the kidney is called renal vein. Okay, so renal artery would contain high amount of oxygen, low amount of carbon dioxide. Renal vein will have high amount of carbon dioxide. Because the kidney is where you remove urea, so I expect renal artery to contain high amount of urea, and renal vein will contain the lowest amount of urea in the whole body. Okay, Ken?
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Here you can look at the function and also description. Okay, you need to learn about the structure of the kidney in general. You can split them into 3. Here you can see, if I were to draw the kidney in this way, you can split it into the outermost like this. This outermost is called the cortex, this one, cortex. And then the middle in Latin is called medulla, middle. So this is medulla in the middle. And finally, the last part here is the pelvis region, also popularly known as renal pelvis. Okay, so these are the 3 main parts. We will be learning about nephron later. In the next topic, nephron is actually the basic functional unit inside the kidney. The nephron is suspended here, move, and then the loop of Henle like that. So it looks like this. Okay, that's the general structure of kidney. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.